Welcome to another edition of the Sports Block. My name is Will Giddis, alongside, I'll be joined by Melanie Jarvis when she is able to come here after work. We have another softball game here to bring you. Your Middle Creek Mustangs taking on the Fuquay-Varina Bengals. This is it. This is for the SWAC Conference Championship. Winner takes it all. Loser is going to end up playing Apex for the second or third seed later in the week. We're just about ready to get started here. We have number 25, Devin Wallace, on the mound. She is a sophomore starting this game. This is a very important game, and they are starting a sophomore pitcher, if that says anything about her caliber. We apologize in advance as we do not have Fuquay-Varina's lineup, so we may refer to them simply by their numbers. It is 82 degrees outside, should stay warm for most of the game. Sun's not playing much of a factor right now. First pitch is swung on and missed. You can kind of see those shadows edging in from the backstop there. That can definitely affect the hitter's field of view. But past that, it's not in anybody's eyes and should be a pretty fair game of softball to see today. Now, just a little bit of background on this game. Middle Creek is 15-2 overall. Fuquay is 14-3. That one's going to be fouled back, as well as Apex is 14-3. However, Middle Creek and Fuquay both have 2 conference losses, making the winner of this game the winner of the SWAC conference. Now, these two teams have played each other earlier in the year. Fuquay lost to Middle Creek 8-2 at home. At Fuquay's home, so Middle Creek won on the road against Fuquay. Fuquay's 3 losses came to Clayton, Apex, and Middle Creek. Middle Creek's 2 losses came from Apex and Holly Springs. Now, Holly Springs was an 8-9 team overall. I believe they played last night and actually lost 1-0 to Holly Springs, so a tough loss there, making this game all that more important to the Lady Mustangs. And that is fouled off. Now the playoffs for the SWAC conference are going to start either next Tuesday or Wednesday. That date's still to be determined. I know things have been thrown kind of all out of whack with all the snow and inclement weather we've gotten for every spring sport this year. And that's another foul ball. As mentioned earlier, the loser of this game is going to be playing Apex, and both of these teams have already lost to Apex. So preferably, you do not want to lose this game. Both teams are guaranteed a playoff spot. It's just a matter of seeding. Pitches a ball. It's going to push the count full 3-2. Or not. Apparently that was a walk, so runner on first base. Now, both scoreboard operator and our sports block guy have 3-2, so I believe the umpires may have made a mistake in calling a walk here. Coach Robbie Ray went out there to talk about it, and she will have to bat. Not exactly the way you want to start off an important game like this one. The umpires giving away free walks. And that ball is low, so she will draw the walk even without the help of the umpire, and that's going to bring up number 6 for Fuquay. Now there is no leading in softball. Runner cannot until I believe the ball leaves the pitcher's hand. Squares away for the bunt. Pulls it back, and that's going to draw the count to 1-1. I'm sorry, 2-0. I'm sorry, 1-1. Squares the bunt again, called strike, so now it's 1-2. Swung on and missed, and that is going to be the first out of the game. Now, I haven't seen too many double plays turned in the Middle Creek softball games that I've attended, mostly because the baseline is so short between the bases. However, there is always the double play opportunity whenever there is a runner on first and 1 out, or no outs. Seeing a lot of movement on the ball when it comes out of her hand. You can see it even from up here. You could have to imagine what the batter is seeing. Fouled right back, 1-2. Swung on and missed, and that is the second out of the inning. 2 strikeouts in a row now. Swung on and missed. This is number 13 up to bat for Fuquay. Swung on and missed, 0-2. Three pitches, 3 strikes, and that is the end of the inning. She strikes out the side, and that's going to hold the score at 0-0 after the top of the first inning. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. Helping students become champions in life. This is the goal of the Stampede Club, Middle Creek High School's athletic boosters. Athletes at MCHS and members of the Sports Block excel in their work thanks to the opportunities that the Stampede Club provides them. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor and contributing to the achievements of the athletes at Middle Creek, please contact Bert Armstrong at 919-414-7218 or bert@armstrongmcguire.com. Be a part of molding the future for the students at Middle Creek.
One block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2.
And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. You're watching the Sports Blog.
One block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2.
And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. You're watching the Sports Blog. And welcome back to the Sports Block. I'm now joined by co-commentator Melanie Jarvis.
Hey everyone.
She is coming back from her work at the YMCA, training the youth to be better people. Thank you, Melanie.
Yeah, I'm bettering the American children.
So leading off for the Mustangs, can't say that with a straight face. Leading off for the Mustangs is number 55, Allie Burkhart.
Now, if you notice one interesting thing about Allie, she is batting lefty, and she tends to try to slap the ball, which is a bunt and a run at the same time.
First pitch was a ball. Too high. You'll notice that the infield is playing in, obviously expecting the slap bunt hybrid. Too high again, 3-0. Four pitches, 4 balls, and that is a walk for the Mustangs to lead off the inning. And that's going to bring up number 7, Megan Walker. Also a slap hitter. She can also hit, though, as I'm being indicated. Squares for the bunt, pulls it back. I believe that was called a strike, 0-1. Looked like she chased that ball a little bit, 0-2. Now there's a pretty big, relatively speaking, crowd here for the softball games. I mean, usually you get a decent crowd, but, bleachers have quite a few people in them tonight, and you even have a couple of people from the news taking pictures for the paper.
Yeah, and Fuquay is always one of softball's biggest rivalries, and especially competing for first place for the conference is going to draw more of attention to Middle Creek.
I mean, Fuquay is a huge rivalry for Middle Creek no matter what sport you're playing.
Yeah, I remember maybe 2 years ago when I was playing on the softball team that we actually ended up beating Fuquay, which was a big accomplishment for us.
And that is going to be slapped foul out of play. Count remains 0-2. Low, out of reach of the catcher, and Burkhart's going to advance to second base. But speaking of the crowd, there's been I've noticed just from the people I've talked to that there's been a resurgence in the amount of Creek Crazies showing up to sporting events. They came out relatively strong for football season, kind of dwindled down during basketball season, but I think it started to kick into the seniors that this was their, last semester in high school, and they started coming out to any sporting event that they could just to support the school.
Yeah, and I've seen a big improvement in all the sports. I know they came out to some tennis matches, and they made it pretty far in their playing.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of any Creek Crazies going to tennis matches, so I think that might have been a first for the school. And that's going to be chopped to the second baseman, stops and throws it into the ground. That was a tough play for her to make, to shift her weight from that front foot to the back foot and then plant and throw the ball. So I believe that will actually go down in the books as an error, but be be aware that that was a difficult play to make. However, that puts Middle Creek in really good position here with runners on the corners with no outs. And now batting for the Mustangs is number 2, Lauren Pinella.
And Lauren is actually honored for senior night yesterday and was one of the 4 seniors that played on varsity for all 4 years of high school.
And that first pitch, there was a fake bunt allowing Megan Walker to advance to second base, putting 2 runners in scoring position now. Swung on right back to the pitcher. That's going to hit off her face and bounce away from her, allowing Pinella to advance to first, Burkhart to score from third, and Walker to advance to third base. Luckily for the pitcher, she was wearing a mask, and they're just real quick.
People make fun of them for wearing masks.
Oh, God. She didn't knock that.
Yeah, she would have been hurting. But while we have this slight break in play, I'll take a moment to talk about kind of everything that's going on for both teams here. AP exams, first thing that pops into my head. This week and next week, there are various AP exams taking place, and those are very stressful, whether you play a sport or not. And I'm sure playing softball simply compounds the amount of stress that you're going to have. I mean, not only preparing for softball, but preparing for AP exams.
Yeah, definitely. I know a lot of my teachers are still giving homework even though we may not be in class and expect it to be due. So that can put a lot of the players at stress.
Anyone in particular you'd like to call out, Melanie?
No.
No? Okay.
Say names.
And then on top of that, you have prom coming up May 17th. For guys, May 17th is a while away, but for girls, it's, prom started about 3 months ago. So, you have to imagine for the softball players that that's on their plate as well.
And I think a lot of past Middle Creek softball players are coming tonight, as Ashley Watkins, one of the players of the 2008 championship team that made it to the Final Four, I believe. She is here, and also Allison Geiner, one of the former players who's playing at UNCG now. Her mom is here, and several other players should be showing up shortly, such as Beth Ann Kleekamp and Heather Robb, who are in our Hall of Fame.
And that first pitch was a ball. This is number 28, Kylie Majette. Kylie is another one of Middle Creek's pitchers, one of their aces. That was a called strike, 1-1. Got her with the off-speed pitch. Caught her lunging, 1-2.
It's definitely good for Middle Creek to get the lead in the beginning and hopefully keep up their confidence and win the game.
And there's a pass ball, and that's going to allow Megan Walker to score from third base and Lauren Pinella to advance to third. So still no outs here. Middle Creek leads 2-0 with Lauren Pinella in scoring position over at third base. But as you said, it's very important to get the lead early. I think you talk to any coach of any sport, and scoring first is important, but mostly because it boosts the morale of the entire team. And that's going to be a slow roller over to shortstop. She's going to field it, throw over to first base, and get the first out of the inning. Because it was hit to the left side, Pinella was forced to stay at third base. And that's going to bring up number 25, Devin Wallace, the pitcher.
And especially in a game such as placing who's the conference champion, it is important to get that confidence too.
First pitch ball. And that one is a ball. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast that the sun wasn't having much of an effect. I think I'm probably wrong here, as I see most of the infielders and outfielders putting their hands, cupping them over their eyes because the sun is shining right in their face. Swung on and missed. And also, it's causing more shadows to bleed onto the field from the backstop, making it more difficult for the hitters to hit, for the fielders to see the ball come off the bat.
And it's really hot out there, so I'm sure Fuquay doesn't like that in all black.
And that's going to be fouled off. After a very cold North Carolina winter, it is almost refreshing to have some warm Carolina weather.
Well, it's North Carolina weather for you,
Oh,
so
there you
it's
go.
always changing. And luckily it's not raining either, since that seems to be an occurrence lately.
And it's going to be popped up out of play. 2-2 remains the count.
Hoping that he knows that this team can make it far or further than the team in 2008 just because of how well they can play. They were both good teams, but it's just how this team meshes well together.
Another foul ball. And the thing is about this team is a majority of the players are not seniors. There's 4 seniors, but everybody else is either a junior, and there's a number of sophomores on the team as well, even a freshman.
Yeah, and that's definitely good for the future, hoping that maybe if they don't make it as far this year, they can make it even further next year with the same talent being there.
And that's going to allow Devin Wallace to advance to first base, which is going to bring up number 5, Jenna Powell.
And I believe number 5, Kelly Monahan, switched out for Devin Wallace at first base.
This is due to the special pinch runner rule at both softball and baseball have, allowing the game to be sped up a little bit, not having to wait for the pitcher to warm up as long or have the catcher put on all of their gear. This allows them to just go out of the dugout, and it doesn't sound like you're saving much time, but over the course of the game, you're really saving quite a number of minutes, which when you're on a time limit usually is very important.
And to correct myself, Kelly was actually 52 and not 5.
Unforgivable.
Just helping the audience at home.
And that is another strike, 2 strikes, and no balls. And that's going to be fouled out of play. It's been a while since we did the last softball broadcast for Sports Block, but I believe I said it in that broadcast too, that when Jenna swings, she really steps out towards the away team dugout, which means that she's unable to hit the outside pitches as well. This allows her to kind of turn on the ball a little bit better. But in the end, if a pitcher pitches her outside, she's going to struggle with it more than other players would, per se.
Yeah, it definitely stops her because she's pulling away from the ball then, which is harder for her to reach it. And maybe she's trying to pull it out towards right field, but not sure.
And that's just going to be hit right up in the air, right in front of the pitcher. She's unable to catch it. And that's going to be an infield single for Jenna Powell. It's going to allow Pinella to score from third base and allow the special pinch runner Kelly Monahan to advance to second. So now Jenna is going to have a special pinch runner come for her. That's number 14, Kelsey Carr. And that's also going to bring up number 22, Jackie Schiavone. Mustangs lead 3-0, still only 1 out. 2 runners on base. The catcher is going to throw over to first base, try and catch the runner leading. Might have gotten her had the throw been a little bit better, but she's safe nonetheless. And that's going to be fouled right back. And that's going to be grounded, called a fair ball. Appeared to be foul. Home umpire is going to overrule here and say it was in fact a foul ball, saving the Mustangs an out or 2. Count is going to remain 1-2. And a timeout is going to be called by Fuquay's coach.
Patrick, you need Iris down a tad. You need Iris up.
And while we have this break and play, I'd like to take this time to acknowledge the accomplishments of Melanie Jarvis. Melanie has committed herself to the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, to take her talents to the communications program there this coming fall semester.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. I get to work with UNCW's broadcast there and hopefully get to help out with baseball some too.
You hear that, kids? Sports Block setting you up for the future. She already has all the experience she needs, and who knows, you probably have more experience than most people there.
And I could get paid. So.
And she can get
future.
Very proud of you, Melanie. All of us here at the Sports Block congratulate you.
Thank you. We'll recognize your accomplishments next break.
Few and far between, my friend. And that is going to be fouled back.
And it's great seeing other coaches from sports come out here too, as Coach Robinson, the head of the men's lacrosse varsity team, is here, who actually, their team made it to the playoffs for the first time ever, I believe.
Yes, I believe that is the first time.
And women's they made it to the playoffs too, which is a big accomplishment for both of them.
I believe women's soccer did too as well.
They're doing good this year then. And men's lacrosse was also the conference champions.
Correction from Coach Petty over here. No, they are not. I apologize.
My bad.
And that's going to be popped up right into the sun to the shortstop. And that's going to be caught for an out. Regardless, the umpires did call an infield fly rule, making the batter out automatically. This rule is put in play to prevent fielders from abusing the opportunity and being able to turn double plays much easier, because the runners have to wait for the ball to drop before they can advance. Complicated, but in practice it is not. And that's going to bring up number 1, Lily Morris. Ball low. Throw over to first base. She's safe. Didn't look very close, but the umpire appeared to want a closer look.
She had a little trouble getting back up there. See, this is the one thing about softball and baseball, you never know. It's not timed, so these innings can take a while.
Yeah, I know as playing a JV sport my freshman year is very frustrating, because the JV games are timed to make room for the varsity games, so you could be in the middle of the most intense match and hour and a half is up, time to get off the field.
So you hope that you can just play it quick and get it over with then.
Exactly.
And win.
Swung on it, missed. That's what it seems like for these softball games. It's either a game that's over in what seems like an hour, or it's a game that drags on for, like 3. Just because either they're scoring a lot or nobody's scoring, it seems like.
And it's definitely who you're playing against. Like Fuquay right now, since it's a more intense game, they're wanting to keep going, and they'll battle definitely harder.
And that's a ground ball to the shortstop, fielded. Throw over to first is good, and that's going to be the last out of the inning, but not before Middle Creek scores 3 runs here in the bottom of the first. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. Helping students become champions in life. This is the goal of the Stampede Club, Middle Creek High School's athletic boosters. Athletes at MCHS and members of the Sports Block excel in their work thanks to the opportunities that the Stampede Club provides them. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor and contributing to the achievements of the athletes at Middle Creek, please contact Bert Armstrong at 919-414-7218 or Bert at armstrongmcguire.com. Be a part of molding the future for the students at Middle Creek.
One block, and it shrugs them off.
And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. You're watching the Sports Blog.
One block, and it shrugs them off, and he makes another 2.
And kick. And we're back with the Sports Block. It is the top of the second inning, and Fuquay is going to look to strike back here after they surrendered 3 runs in the bottom of the first. First pitch lined towards Middle Creek dugout.
And that brings up number 7, Logan.
As mentioned earlier, we did not have official lineup cards for Fuquay, and as such, we don't have last names. So if this is your daughter for Fuquay, Logan is up to bat. And that is a ball. Swung on and missed. 1-2.
And she is also the third base for Fuquay.
One-two pitch outside, trying to get her to chase. She does not. 2-2. Swung on and missed for the 4th strikeout of the game. There's been 4 outs recorded by Middle Creek and 4 strikeouts. That one looked pretty good. Called a ball. She did, in fact, go around 1-1. Called ball. 2-1.
And that is number 15, Hayden Up, who plays right field.
Low and inside, 3-1. And that is popped very high to the shortstop, which is caught for the 2nd out of the inning. First out that's been recorded that hasn't been a strikeout, but I don't think anybody's complaining in that department.
And she definitely did do a good job of getting back there in time, coming all the way from that angle.
And that was number 2, Lauren Pinella at short. Swung on and missed. I apologize, that was number 55, Allie Burkhart at short. Close pitch, maybe a little bit outside, 1-1.
And up for Fuquay is number 12, Bree, who plays second base.
And that ball is going to slip away from Powell at catcher, 2-1.
Now we'll definitely have to see if Fuquay tries and comes back to tie with Middle Creek, or even get ahead.
That would be the name of the game.
Well, you know, with this competition here, they'll be more motivated.
And that is the next out and final out of the top of the 2nd inning. So far, 5 of the 6 outs recorded have been strikeouts for Middle Creek. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with the bottom of the 2nd. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. Helping students become champions in life. This is the goal of the Stampede Club, Middle Creek High School's athletic boosters. Athletes at MCHS and members of the Sports Block excel in their work thanks to the opportunities that the Stampede Club provides them. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor and contributing to the achievements of the athletes at Middle Creek, please contact Bert Armstrong at 919-414-7218 or Bert at armstrongmcguire.com. Be a part of molding the future for the students at Middle Creek.
He one block, and he shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. is up. That's an absolute thrill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute thrill into the back of the end zone.
And we're back with the Sports Block. It is the bottom of the second inning, and Middle Creek leads 3-0. We are starting right back with the top of the order. I stand corrected. The bottom of the order, batting ninth, is number 4, Rachel Class. That one's going to be fouled off.
And in other news in softball, Wake Forest beat Sanderson, allowing them to both be the champions of the Cap 8.
Very nice.
Hopefully we'll see a Middle Creek win here tonight.
Grounded to the shortstop. Takes a good bounce for her, and that's the first out of the inning, which is going to snake around to the top of the order for real this time. Number 55, Allie Burkhart. You might even go as far to say for realsies.
For realsies? What kind of language are we speaking here?
The realsies one?
Okay. That's as far as you can go. Just don't bring it any further.
First pitch, squares for the slap bunt, is a ball, 1-0.
And the interesting thing is while the outfield is pulled in, it still looks like they're really pulled in since we're actually on a baseball field instead.
Yeah, I know a lot of the middle schools in the area will play their games. Here you'll notice the temporary fence out in the outfield.
And that brings for a lot of trouble if a grounder is in the outfield and it goes at a time.
It is worth noting that this complex is owned by the town of Cary and not Middle Creek, which is why this isn't a softball field. I believe they have some deal struck out allowing the Mustangs to play here. And that's going to be a slap bunt fielded by the second baseman who's playing very far in. And that's going to be the second out of the inning, which is going to bring up number 7, Megan Walker.
And going back to the town of Cary owning this complex, that's why we have a Mustang softball sign hanging up in the outfield, since we have nothing else here that's Middle Creek related.
Grounded right to the first baseman, and that is the last out of the inning. So Fuquay doesn't allow any runs, and we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, it'll be the top of the third. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Blog. Helping students become champions in life. This is the goal of the Stampede Club, Middle Creek High School's athletic boosters. Athletes at MCHS and members of the Sports Block excel in their work thanks to the opportunities that the Stampede Club provides them. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor and contributing to the achievements of the athletes at Middle Creek, please contact Bert Armstrong at 919-414-7218 or bert@armstrongmcguire.com. Be a part of molding the future for the students at Middle Creek.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute thrill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two.
And we're back with the Sports Block. Fuquay looking to score some runs here in the top of the third inning. First pitch is a ball, 1-0.
And up for Fuquay is number 9, Erica, who plays left field.
Swung on and missed, 1-1. 2-1.
And I know the pitcher, Devin Wallace, is only a sophomore, but she's definitely proved herself over the past 2 years that she is a strong pitcher and she can help this team accomplish victories.
She's just barely going to get a piece of that one, 2-2. And both of Middle Creek's ball teams, baseball and softball, both have very young rosters. I know the baseball team, I think only 3 or 4 seniors are actually starting, which is the same for softball, and that one's going to be popped up and caught by Wallace, the pitcher, for the first out of the inning.
And that brings up number 5, the center fielder, Alea. And it's definitely good to have a team that has younger players because they can build a relationship to have a stronger team and definitely hope to accomplish some wins in the future.
First pitch is a strike. Swung on and missed, 0-2. First ball of the at-bat's going to make it 1-2.
And Will up here is trying to distract all the workers and not let us do our jobs.
Melanie, I'm the most professional person in this entire club. I don't know why you would think I would distract people.
I don't know. It's not like you've done it before.
And that is the 6th strikeout of the game.
And that brings up the shortstop, number 1, Ashlyn. And I actually played with Ashlyn when I was in elementary school and once again when we were in middle school. And now she's going to attend Western Carolina when she goes to college, even though she's only a sophomore.
She's committed already?
Yeah, she's already committed.
Well, okay then.
And I know she's on a travel team too, so especially being on a travel team, it can help you get to colleges and hopefully play for them in the future.
And that's going to be popped up pretty high to the shortstop, and that's going to be caught for the 3rd out of the inning. So Middle Creek doing a good job here on defense. They have not allowed any runs. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. Helping students become champions in life. This is the goal of the Stampede Club, Middle Creek High School's athletic boosters. Athletes at MCHS and members of the Sports Block excel in their work thanks to the opportunities that the Stampede Club provides them. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor and contributing to the achievements of the athletes at Middle Creek, please contact Bert Armstrong at 919-414-7218 or bert@armstrongmcguire.com. Be a part of molding the future for the students at Middle Creek.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
one block, and he
Oh!
just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute thrill.
And we are back with the sports block. Leading off for the Mustangs is number 2, Lauren Pinella. She hit the pitcher in the face last at-bat.
Hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Depends on what side you're on. Nah, I'm just kidding.
We don't want anyone to get hurt here, do we?
I agree. 1-0.
And yesterday on senior night, Middle Creek actually 0. So hopefully they're, and it seems like they already have, come back from that and pull out this victory.
And that is a called strike. Swung on and missed. Got her with the off-speed pitch.
And it's probably easier for third and shortstop and the pitcher to see now since the shadows are past them. Or on them, essentially.
Still makes it difficult for the outfielders, though. Not many balls have been hit to the outfield, so it might not have a huge impact on the game. Ball high. I know, because I started outfield for the baseball team. When the shadows kind of creep over like that, there's about a 1 or 2 second delay between when the ball is hit and when you can actually see it coming towards you.
Yeah, I know. I used to play left field, and when the ball would start coming, you try to block it with your glove, but it wouldn't do much.
And that's hit into the outfield. Speak of the devil, number 15, the right fielder, who catches it for the first out of the inning, which is going to bring up the cleanup hitter, number 28, Kylie Majette. And that's going to be a foul ball. And fouled back. 0-2. Now, just looking at an old piece of paper I got here, you can see that Middle Creek was actually ranked number 11th in the area for softball at the beginning of the year. I believe with them at the top of the conference, you would imagine they're probably in first place. And grounded right back to the pitcher. Thrown over to first for the second out. That's going to bring up number 25, the pitcher, Devin Walls.
And if you'll notice, she has a brace-like thing on her elbow to protect it in case she gets hit during the pitch, since she is a pitcher and that is crucial to her spot.
And that's a called ball, 1-0. And that is a called strike. 0-2 is the count. 1-2. And that's going to be lined right to the first baseman for the last out of the inning. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when you come back, it'll be the top of the fourth. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. Helping students become champions in life. This is the goal of the Stampede Club, Middle Creek High School's athletic boosters. Athletes at MCHS and members of the Sports Block excel in their work thanks to the opportunities that the Stampede Club provides them. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor and contributing to the achievements of the athletes at Middle Creek, please contact Bert Armstrong at 919-414-7218 or bert@armstrongmcguire.com. Be a part of molding the future for the students at Middle Creek.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
And we're back with the Sports Block. Fuquay's leading off here with number 6. They trail 3-0 against the Lady Mustangs.
And that brings up Megan, number 6, who is the catcher and is actually Coach Tarby's, one of Middle Creek's coaches, nieces. So hopefully he's not cheering for them while he's up here.
Good thing he's not important.
I wouldn't say that.
See, I'm 2 seats away from him, so he can't, smack me. And that is going to be fouled out of play. And fouled out of play once again.
So should we talk about your accomplishments, Will?
They're not worth noting.
Okay.
We can wait for the next break
Okay, we'll talk about them
if
then.
we have to talk about me.
Oh, I'm sure you won't have a problem with that.
I feel like I should be offended,
But you aren't.
but I'm not. And it's going to be line drive into center field, caught for the first out of the inning. I believe that was the first ball hit decently to the outfield. That was caught by number 1, Lily Morris.
I actually believe that was number 7, Megan Walker.
It's the uniforms, I'm telling you.
So they got new uniforms and you still can't read the numbers?
I'm colorblind.
Okay, well, the number on the white, they look the same.
It's a very rare condition.
Are you sure you're not number blind?
Dyslexic's the word you're looking for.
The one number? Okay. It looked like an L to you, didn't it?
Yeah,
For Lily
that's
Morris.
Oh, yep. 0-2 is the account. I don't appreciate your unsympathetic disposition to my illness.
Well, you're
And that's going to be popped up in play. Called by Jenna and dropped.
That's the one problem is you need to make sure that you're calling it. And if someone has called
I heard Jenna
way,
calling it.
But Lauren kept
It was
running.
Lauren's ball to catch, though.
Yeah. But if I've learned if someone says it's theirs, you got to get out of the way. And if they drop it, it's their fault.
Pretty sure that's how Russia annexed Crimea.
Oh, really?
Something like that.
Okay. Oh, she did a little jump there.
Yeah, she did. Off-speed pitch. She's just going to pop it right up to the shortstop, Pinella.
And that was hit by
Allie Burkhart. Sorry.
That was hit by number 3, Kelsey, who is one of the seniors and also the first baseman for Fuquay.
A rare medical condition that prevents me from knowing what position people play. It's called general stupidity. It's very rare.
And it looks like we have some visitors in the outfield out there climbing over the fence.
When it's your frisbee, you gotta go get it.
As long as they weren't trying to sneak into the game.
0-1 pitch is low, 1-1.
And up for Fuquay is number 13, Caitlin, the designated pitcher.
No. 1-2's the count. Fouled back. Way outside, 2-2.
And another one of our former Middle Creek players, Beth Ann Kleekamp, has joined us now in the crowd. And she was part of the 08 Final Four team and also recognized in the Hall of Fame.
That was a called ball, and the crowd was not very happy with that call.
And no one up here either.
Foul ball. Oh, there goes one of our cameras. But not really.
Maybe the mic.
High chopper right over the head of the pitcher. And Fuquay's going to get a runner on base. First one since, I believe, the first inning.
And up for Fuquay now is the third baseman, Logan, number 7.
Swung on and missed. 0-1. And that's a called strike, 0-2.
And another one of our former Middle Creek players of the 08 team, Heather Robb, is now here too.
Nothing. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. Helping students become champions in life. This is the goal of the Stampede Club, Middle Creek High School's athletic boosters. Athletes at MCHS and members of the Sports Block excel in their work thanks to the opportunities that the Stampede Club provides them. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor and contributing to the achievements of the athletes at Middle Creek, please contact Bert at armstrongmcguire.com. Be a part of molding the future for the students at Middle Creek.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog. And we're back with the Sports Block. Middle Creek looking to score a few more runs here. At the top of the fourth inning, they lead 3-0.
And the Middle Creek JV softball coach is up here, Coach Martzoff, and she told me that they beat Fuquay 23-3.
Who did?
The Middle Creek JV team beat Fuquay
Oh, okay.
23-3.
Swung on and missed. 1-1. And that's going to be popped into center field. And that's caught for the first out of the inning. And that's going to bring up number 22, Jackie Schiavone.
Now, this year for the Middle Creek softball team to raise some money, they had a pancake breakfast at Applebee's. They sold pink out t-shirts. They had a golf tournament, and they were able to buy uniforms, helmets, headbands, and decals. And the coaches would like to thank everyone who contributed and supported the program, and also the town of Cary and the parents.
The pancake breakfast is almost a rite of passage here at Middle Creek. Seems like every sports team has one at least once. I know I did my freshman year. 6 o'clock, giving people pancakes. And it's going to be grounded to the second baseman for the second out of the inning. And that's going to bring up number 1, Lily Morris.
Good job for reading it right this time. But, I mean, who wouldn't want to attend a pancake breakfast? It's food.
First pitch, ball low.
Now, I asked Coach Ray at the beginning of the season, and he said they have a chance to do really well and have a great season, and especially ending tonight, I think they have had that.
The 2-0 pitch is swung on and missed for the first strike of the at-bat. And it's going to be grounded foul. And swung on and missed for the strikeout and the last out of the inning. Middle Creek has not scored for 3 complete innings. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. Helping students become champions in life. This is the goal of the Stampede Club, Middle Creek High School's athletic boosters. Athletes at MCHS and members of the Sports Block excel in their work thanks to the opportunities that the Stampede Club provides them. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor and contributing to the achievements of the athletes at Middle Creek, please contact Bert Armstrong at 919-414-7218 or bert@armstrongmcguire.com. Be a part of molding the future for the students at Middle Creek.
One block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute.
And we're back with the Sports Block. It is the top of the 5th inning. Fuquay looking to put a few runs on the board. First pitch is swung on and missed.
And up for Fuquay is the right fielder, number 15, Hayden.
And it's going to be popped back towards us, out of play.
For a second there, it kind of looked like it was going at us. Never know.
Good thing there's nothing between us and the field. Oh, wait, there is.
Yeah, the window.
Okay.
It's just so clear that you can just see right through
I
it.
was being aggressively sarcastic, Melanie.
I know. And I was being sarcastic back.
One and 2 is the count. Swung on and missed for another strikeout.
And now for Fuquay is the second baseman, number 12, Bree.
First pitch too high, 1-0. Two and 0 is now the count. Called strike, 2-1. And second strike, 2-2. And that's going to be another strikeout for Lily Morris, as there are now 2 outs in the inning. Did I just say Lily Morris? I'm sorry.
You just want to say Lily Morris, don't you?
For Devin Wallace.
She's just playing every position.
Can we
isn't
edit
she?
this? Who edits this broadcast?
I think it's live. Sorry
Some
about
live
that.
editing, 0-1.
You know what you say is aired over the internet.
Yeah, well,
So just watch what you
strike,
say.
0-2. And 2.
And up for Fuquay is the left fielder, number 9, Erica.
Fouled back, 1-2. Swung on and missed for another strikeout. That's going to be the end of the top of the fifth. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. Helping students become champions in life. This is the goal of the Stampede Club, Middle Creek High School's athletic boosters. Athletes at MCHS and members of the Sports Block excel in their work thanks to the opportunities that the Stampede Club provides them. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor and contributing to the achievements of the athletes at Middle Creek, please contact Bert Armstrong at 919-414-7218 or bert@armstrongmcguire.com. Be a part of molding the future for the students at Middle Creek.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
And we're back in the bottom of the fifth with Kelsey Carr up to bat at the bottom of the lineup, taking Rachel Klass's spot. And our other commentator, Will, has left me to eat some pizza. And the count is 1-0. And that was the strike, bringing the count to 1-1. And that was fouled, bringing the count to 1-2. And swung on and fouled, bringing the count to 1-2. And that was a ball. The count is now 2-2. And that was a ball, bringing us to full count. And she swung and missed, and that brings up our lead hitter, number 55, Allie Burkhart.
Hello, everyone. I'm back.
Did you enjoy your pizza?
Still working on it.
Okay.
Big shout out To the lovely Helen Kimball for bringing me a couple-day-old Papa John's.
Sounds delicious.
You know, I'm prepping myself with the college mentality, just eating whatever's presented to me.
As long as it's free.
Amen.
And swung on and fouled, bringing the count to 0-1. And she tried to slap that, and it was counted a strike, bringing the count to 0-2.
See, Mel, you don't need me. You got this.
Thanks, Will.
You're the professional.
I am. Are you sure?
No.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
And hits off of her, which is going to prompt a foul ball.
Now the ball has to travel out far enough into the field to be counted as a hit, and if not, it's still considered a foul. And Allie Burkhart was actually named All-Conference and All-District, I believe, her past 2 years, but I'm not positive.
Hits it off the handle right to the second baseman, thrown over to first for the second out of the inning. And that's going to bring up number 7, Megan Walker.
Are you sure it's not Lily Morris? Okay, just keep eating your pizza there. And Megan has also been named All-Conference, All-District, and All-State. I want to say her past 2 years also, but I'm not positive. And don't count me for being right.
And that's going to be grounded foul. Error made by Coach Robbie Ray over there at third base.
And the interesting thing is Coach Ray actually used to work at Fuquay and was the assistant softball coach there before he came to Middle Creek. So he's great friends with the Fuquay head coach. And he was assistant, I believe, his first year at Middle Creek and has been head coach ever since his second year here.
Got her with the off-speed pitch, 1-2. Big shout out to Coach Robbie Ray. He also takes care of the yearbook. And being the senior that I am, I did not get my yearbook picture in time to be in the senior yearbook. And Mr. Ray helped me out along the way, getting my beautiful smiling face into everybody's forever memories in the yearbook.
And I'm pretty sure he said that last time too, so he's just getting all this.
I felt like it was worth mentioning.
It's always good.
And that's going to be the end of the bottom of the fifth. Mustangs still lead 3-0 here going into the top of the sixth. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. Helping students become champions in life. This is the goal of the Stampede Club, Middle Creek High School's athletic boosters. Athletes at MCHS and members of the Sports Block excel in their work thanks to the opportunities that the Stampede Club provides them. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor and contributing to the achievements of the athletes at Middle Creek, please contact Bert Armstrong at 919-414-7218 or bert@armstrongmcguire.com. Be a part of molding the future for the students at Middle Creek.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick.
And we're back with the Sports Block. Melanie just took a selfie with me, without my permission, may I add.
But first, we had to take a selfie, Will.
Okay. And that's going to be driven into right field and caught for the first out of the inning. Fuquay now has 5 outs remaining in this game.
And that brings us back to the top of the lineup for Fuquay. Number 1, the shortstop, Ashlyn Long.
And that is a called strike 0-1.
And that was caught by the pitcher, Devin Wallace. And now to bat is the catcher, number 6, Megan.
In the word of Josh from Drake and Josh, Megan. You have to be a certain age. And that's going to put a runner on first base. 2 outs now here in the top of the 6th inning. Inside 1-0.
And up to bat for Fuquay is the first baseman, number 3, Kelsey Ward.
Two and 0. And that is going to be popped up very high. Called by Burkhart, and that is the last out of the inning. Fuquay down to 3 outs now here in this ball game. Middle Creek's going to have to put some insurance runs on the board going into the bottom of the 6th inning. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. Helping students become champions in life. This is the goal of the Stampede Club, Middle Creek High School's athletic boosters. Athletes at MCHS and members of the Sports Block excel in their work thanks to the opportunities that the Stampede Club provides them. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor and contributing to the achievements of the athletes at Middle Creek, please contact Bert Armstrong at 919-414-7218 or Bert at armstrongmcguire.com. Be a part of molding the future for the students at Middle Creek.
One block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog. And we're back with the Sports Block. Middle Creek here in the bottom of the 6th inning leads 3-0, looking to put up insurance runs, if anything, here to lead into the top of the 7th.
And I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Tarpey up here for giving us his pretzel, because we're all hungry.
And that first pitch is a ball. Well, you guys are hungry. I've eaten my pizza. I'm situated.
Yeah, you didn't share it with us, which it would have been nice to.
And that's going to be lined into the right center gap. She's going to get a double, maybe a triple.
And it almost went under the fence.
I believe Coach Robbie Ray had his hands up, indicating her to stop at second, but I think she very easily could have gotten a triple out of that. And that's popped right back to the backstop. Coach Robbie Ray going to have a quick talk here with cleanup hitter number 28, Kylie Majette. And it's hit into right field, caught by the right fielder. Pinella not going to be able to tag up on that one. And that's the first out of the inning. And that's going to bring up number 25, Devin Wallace. And that's going to be hit into center field and fielded by the center fielder for the second out of the inning. And that's going to bring up the catcher, number 5, Jenna Powell.
Now, the cool thing about the coaches for Middle Creek softball is Coach Grant Coleman and Coach George Robb. They both had daughters that played here at Middle Creek, and even though they're gone, they have still stayed with the team, which definitely shows the support we have here. And Coach Tarpey.
Dude, he gave you a pretzel and you don't even mention his name?
I was looking at the field at the moment. I already gave him a shout out.
And that's going to be a first pitch ball.
He does a great job putting the score on the scoreboard.
You don't even know what he does.
Yes, I do. I sit right next to him. I just couldn't think of the word. It's all the studying that just gets to me. School. It's too much.
Grounded to third baseman, throw over to first, and that is the last out of the inning. Fuquay's going to have their last licks here in the top of the 7th when we come back. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. Helping students become champions in life. This is the goal of the Stampede Club, Middle Creek High School's athletic boosters. Athletes at MCHS and members of the Sports Block excel in their work thanks to the opportunities that the Stampede Club provides them. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor and contributing to the achievements of the athletes at Middle Creek, please contact Bert Armstrong at 919-414-7218 or bert@armstrongmcguire.com. Be a part of molding the future for the students at Middle Creek.
One block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog. Welcome back to the Sports Block. It is the top of the 7th inning, and Fuquay now only has 3 outs if they're to win this ball game.
I think your voice changed.
That is a line drive foul down the right field line. Devin Wallace, This is number 13 up to bat for Fuquay.
And if you'd like to know her name, it's Caitlin.
And that pitch is a called strike. 0-2 is the count. And that one is way outside. 1-2.
You're really getting into this now.
Indeed I am. And that is grounded foul, out of play. 1-2. And a ball outside, just barely missed the outside corner of the plate. 2-2. Almost hits her. 3-2. And that is a pop-up caught by the second baseman for the first out of the inning.
And up to bat for Fuquay is the third baseman, number 7, Logan.
Logan.
If only I knew her last name. It is Logan Bowling, as I'm informed by one of the...
And that is a ground ball over to the second baseman, fielded and thrown to the first baseman for the second out of the inning. Fuquay now has 1 out remaining in this ball game. They trail 3-0 here in the top of the 7th.
And up for Fuquay now is the right fielder, number 15, Hayden Parker.
First pitch is a ball. And that is popped up. Out of play, diving effort, but no cigar. 1-1. Two and 1 is the count.
And it's coming at us.
And another foul ball.
Oh, there it went.
Terrifying to say the least, Melanie.
Well, hopefully this glass is like able to stop the softball if it goes at us.
Close pitch, 3-2, 2 outs, top of the 7th. Mustangs lead by 3. Payoff pitch, did she go? Yes, she did.
SWAC champion!
Coach Darby got a little excited back here.
Needless to say, Mustangs win. Yeah.
And they're also named the SWAC Conference Champions for softball now.
Had you not heard initially.
Well, I just wanted to make sure they could understand what was said.
And to wrap things up here, Mustangs win in 7 innings, 3-0. Beautiful pitching outing by Devin Wallace, and a great team effort overall by the Mustangs, as mentioned once or twice before. They are now the SWAC Conference champions. Certainly a feat with the amount of good softball teams that are in the division.
And definitely after winning that and going into the playoffs now, I want to see if they can do as well as the 2008 team. Coach Ray had told me earlier that this team definitely has more talent top to bottom, while the other team was more competitive. And Coach George Ray out there is actually wearing the 2008 championship shirt to show the ladies what it would look like if they can make it that far.
And we are going to try and do our best to cover the upcoming playoff games, as mentioned earlier. They will probably take place next Tuesday or Wednesday, so depending on what the sports block schedule is kind of looking like, we will do our best to get out there and capture it for you guys to watch. But overall tonight here, just a great performance by the Mustangs, both offensive and defensively. Obviously, this was for the SWAC championship. Fuquay was in second place, so Middle Creek asserting their dominance here in the SWAC conference, and that's going to do it for us here at the Sports Block. So for Melanie Jarvis, I'm Will Giddis, signing off for the night, and this was another edition of the Sports Block.